you know, he picked the wrong family, and not scared of a conflict, and we're not scared. We're not running. We're coming at him.
Hey guys, welcome to the think tank. I am just looking for my link here. Dandy, you rock. 9:30? Alrighty then. Oh. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Oh yeah, Dandy just gave me a call. It was like, oh, nice. So it is at what time did you guys have? Let's see here. Got him. You know what? I just looked a couple hours ago and there was nothing. NVC app? Let me see what I can find here. What do you guys think? This is damn good. NVC? Okay. Looking. No. Not to worry. We will get this. I am all over it. Okay. He got going over here. About Nick. Oh my word, guys. There could be nothing better. Yeah, I can't do that. But thank you. Okay. That's okay. Still looking. Not a problem. Oh, la, la, la.
Know how that happened and how this all went down exactly, but this is a very fluid and active situation. Well, it's not active in terms of him being escaped anymore, but active in terms of where do things go from here and how did this all happen, trying to learn a lot of that information, which I would imagine we will learn.
Look at that, guys.
9:30 a.m. this morning. So when that press conference does kick off, we will bring that to you, of course, live, raw, and unfiltered. In the meantime, what I think we'll do is we'll go ahead and get our last commercial break out of the way for this hour. We'll come back to this here in a little bit, bring in any new updates, kind of re-rack here, and get back into the news of the day right here on Live Now from Fox.
They're leaving us. Okay.
Pennsylvania So this has been going on for 2 weeks. Of course, he is a convicted murderer, actually convicted of murdering, I believe it was his girlfriend, stabbed multiple times, a really brutal murder, but also wanted for homicide out of Brazil. So pretty interesting there. But as we saw in that video, he was able to escape a state prison, actually sort of scaling the wall in a very unique way, was able to get out that way, has been on the run, making his way through the woods, actually getting to some people's garages, one garage, in fact, where he was alleged to have found a rifle, a .22 caliber rifle, with a scope and a flashlight on that. So that homeowner, though, did take, I believe I read this morning, around 7 shots at him as he was going away, but clearly did not get hit. He continued on the run, and that manhunt continued as police set up that perimeter in the area around Chester County and that neck of the woods in Pennsylvania. And now, as of today, just in a few minutes ago, this was just announced. Actually, at 8:25 a.m. is when this was posted to Twitter, when I had read earlier from the Pennsylvania State Police that Danelo Cavalcante, the 34-year-old that escaped prison, convicted murderer, you see him right there, he is now in cuffs for homicide out of Brazil and was on the run for several days after escaping state prison. You see right there, police throwing him in the back of that vehicle. He is now captured and off the streets. And earlier we saw them doing kind of a photo op with him, just celebrating their capture. And I said something about he didn't appear to be injured, but just a bit ago they zoomed in on him and you could actually see the top of his head was bleeding. So not sure what went on there, but this just happened in about the past, I'd say 10 to 15 minutes or so. Actually, you can see him right there sitting on the side or inside that vehicle there. So look at the sheer amount of police it took to make this happen. This was a huge search. It went on for about 2 weeks. And that 34-year-old man, again, that being Danelo Cavalcante, is now in cuffs once again, back in custody and off the streets. And a lot of people in Pennsylvania, in the Chester County area, can rest easy tonight, knowing he won't be on the prowl. Now, he made his way into some onto people's property. He was captured by some trail cameras, I believe. Actually got into somebody's garage and then ended up getting a .22 caliber rifle. Looks like right now they're cutting his shirt off, might be looking to see if he's got any wounds or anything of that nature. After using his hands and feet to shimmy up a prison wall. We saw that video here and actually jumped from the roof to freedom. Well, that freedom is now over. You're taking a look right here at police packing him up in that black vehicle there. I think they call those an MRAP or something to that effect. That's where he is right now.
Okay, I think we're in, guys.
Shot just a bit ago, and it appeared that he was bleeding from his head, so suffered some sort of injury while being captured, or maybe even before that, because like I said earlier, he did manage to get into somebody's garage and end up stealing a rifle, a .22 caliber rifle. And of course, he is a convicted murderer, so when a convicted murderer gets his hands on a weapon, well, that's taking things to a different level. Thankfully, things appear to have settled down reasonably peacefully, as he has been captured without incident. We can say that now, but we're not exactly sure how this happened, because again, he is bleeding. But that homeowner, when he went into the person's garage just a couple days ago to get that rifle, that homeowner took a few shots at him, but didn't hit him, we think at this point. We saw them checking him earlier. They cut his shirt off. They probably were checking him for bullets, maybe any wounds or injuries. But this is a live look on the ground there in Pennsylvania. And like I said, Danelo Cavalcante, the convicted murderer and also wanted for homicide in Brazil, now back in police custody and on his way back to prison. And you just look at the sheer amount of folks out there, the police on scene there, just a lot of folks it took to track this guy down. He actually ended up breaking through their perimeter at one point. And you heard police say that perimeters are never completely secure. There's ways that people can get through them. And we saw that today, but police certainly staying on top of that and out in full force, plus many more. I mean, that is a lot of police officers we're looking at right now. And very likely it took even more throughout the past 2 weeks to get him caught. And that's the other key point. It did take a full 2 weeks with him on the run, with homeowners worried if he'd be breaking into their homes. He actually did break into people's homes, stealing some items and changing his appearance. So clearly trying to stay off the police's radar, as he did escape from prison, but it didn't work. Maybe it worked for a while, but the police, they got their man. He is in custody. We'll bring you any new details. And of course, we'll have that press conference here later at 9:30 a.m. this morning, and we'll get into some of that. In the meantime, I do want to switch gears and go to some international news. Actually, I'm going to go to that interview I was playing earlier. We were talking about the impeachment inquiry that was announced by Speaker McCarthy yesterday. Going to make a hard switch. We're going to go back to that. I want to play that Politico interview that our Live Now team put together.
Okay. Let's see what else we got here, friends. They went and changed topics on us. You can't be doing that right now. Breaking news, they got him. All righty, we got this. Just give me 2 more seconds. Just need to find someone that's not gonna. "9:30 press conference, guys. Book 'em, Dano. Book 'em." Let me see here, guys. Love it. Well done, guys. Hey? Wowza. Okay. Ay, 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 ay. Back to the Hooskow. Mm, it is going down.
Next year, pretty much all mobile devices, tablets, and cameras need to use a common charging standard. They've settled on USB-C, and Apple's seemingly getting out ahead of that with this new decision.
Wait, but so what? Amy, thank you. Shout out to you guys. Again, celebrate Danelo Cavalcante being arrested. Because guess what? Now Chester County can finally relax a little bit. Go home and stretch and not worry about this little rodent going into your barns, breaking into your house, shooting you. You don't have to worry about that. Love you too, baby.
Okay.
You do not have to worry about this little weasel weaseling his way in and out of your place. Law enforcement went out there and they
Get her done.
tragic, messed up situation all around, says Melissa. That's 1,000% true. 1,000% true. Make sure you guys hit that like button. We were the first to break the news, and I appreciate you guys being here with me to break the news. We heard it first here, come across dispatch. Shout out to the law enforcement. Shout out to everybody who was boots on ground out here at the local.
In front of her children, actually dozens of times. So a very dangerous person actually got a hold of a gun while he was on the run, broke into somebody's garage, stole a .22 caliber vehicle, continued on the run, was on them for 2 weeks. Just a massive manhunt, police setting up multiple perimeters.
I think
Eventually,
we finally got
through
it,
one of those
guys.
perimeters and continued on just in the forests of
Oh,
Pennsylvania. We've heard a lot of
la, la.
analysis on that search, and the terrain's not perfect there. A little hilly. You can't really just lock arms with people and sort of walk across this terrain and search, hand in hand.
You've been
standing
caught.
side
Many
by
headaches,
side, but
frustration,
gotta search
anger,
and put up a
anger
perimeter
the
that's
past
maybe a little
14
loose.
days.
And so we've heard them talking about those
Busted.
perimeters, that they're never really completely secure. People can get through them, and we did see Danelo Cavalcante get through that perimeter at one point. However, today, I'm going to say probably in the past about half hour is when this all happened. So Pennsylvania State Police around 8:25 this morning did put on their Twitter that he was apprehended. So that's the big news of
I
this
was
morning.
up at 4 in
We're
the
going to continue
morning.
to follow this at 9:30 this morning. We do know there will be
And it was
a press
quiet.
conference. We'll get a lot of the details. And when they did zoom in on him earlier, we actually saw from this shot when they caught Cavalcante, they zoomed in and you could see the top of his head was actually bleeding. So we're not sure what that's from or how serious it was, but it can't be too serious because after we saw that, we saw all the police gather around Cavalcante for a little bit of a photo op. So you'll probably see that picture making its way around social media. It's about him and about 40 police officers with AR-15s heavily armed all around him, celebrating
Have
the fact that they
you?
caught this guy. And it's a good
Oh,
thing
my
too, because there's a lot
word.
of people in Pennsylvania that were not really able to sleep well because of this weighing very heavy on their minds, locking their doors at night, making sure they're secure, because he was breaking into places, stealing
She
things.
sure
He
did.
showed up on trail
Yes.
cams, as a matter of fact. But now today, he is back in police custody. What I want to do is go to another interview here in just a moment. But what we're going to do, I'm going to keep this on the screen so we can watch this. This is a live look out of Pennsylvania, and I think the shot is from our friends at Fox 29 Philadelphia. That's their chopper up in the air. I'll put this back up on the screen in just a moment. But what we'll do is get into the latest again in the world of politics with Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, calling for that impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden and his dealings, alleged dealings with his son and his business dealings. Pretty interesting. A lot of stuff's going to be talked about in this. Let's get into it. This is an interview our Live Now team did with attorney Andrew Lieb. Take a listen.
No politics.
Came out and was feeding the state troopers with Chris sandwiches, biscuits with sausage and egg and all that sort of thing on them. Yeah, it's amazing.
Pretty quiet, the camera view or the chopper view, but I'm just going to keep on this, guys, and see what else we can get.
Doors at night, making sure they're secure, because he was breaking into places, stealing things. He showed up on trail cams, as a matter of fact. But now today, he is back in police custody. What I want to do is go to another interview here in just a moment, but what we're going to do, I'm going to keep this on the screen so we can watch this. This is a live look out of Pennsylvania, and I think the shot is from our friends at Fox 29 Philadelphia. That's their chopper up in the air. I'll put this back up on the screen in just a moment, but what we'll do is get into the latest again in the world of politics with Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy calling for that impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden and his dealings, alleged dealings, with his son and his business dealings. Pretty interesting. A lot of stuff's going to be talked about in this. Let's get into it. This is an interview our Live Now team did with attorney Andrew Lieb. Take a listen.
All right, joining the show is Andrew Lieb with Lieb at Law, legal expert. Thanks so much for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
No, there were weaknesses in the perimeter that were set up, and they said those are weaknesses that they just could not get around. But moving forward, how is a Chester County prison going to assess that? And now we're learning that they are making some changes, but it would be good to find out the details.
Stakes so high with the prison, with the people who live around it. The stakes were so high with anyone who lived around the search areas, worried that an individual who was convicted of murder was believed to be carrying around a rifle, and already someone had shot at someone matching his description. Chad Perdelli has been covering this story for us as well, and he joins us live on the phone with some of his own information and reporting. Chad, good morning.
Good morning, Matt. Yeah, obviously this is a very fluid situation. I'm talking to sources as we speak, and information is coming in. As you know, Cavalcante was captured a short while ago near Route 100 and Prizer Road. I'm told by sources that tactical teams, outside the Pennsylvania State Police and the Pennsylvania State Police team found his whereabouts using some thermal technology. You got to remember, overnight, some of the temperatures have actually dropped a bit compared to what we've seen over the past week and a half or 12, 13, 14 days. So they were able to use that thermal technology overnight, find his whereabouts. I'm told he was found under a log. Those tactical teams
Under a log?
found his location, began to move in, took him into custody. You've seen some of those chopper images. He looked bloodied a little bit on his head. Don't know the severity of his injuries at this point. Again, very fluid situation. Still trying to gather information. I'm told he's now going to be going to the Pennsylvania State Police Avondale Barracks. The interview process will then begin to learn more information about how he was on the lam for 14 days until his capture here today. But certainly a relief for everyone living in that area. It's
Big
been
sigh
a long
of
14
relief.
days to get him in custody, but certainly Pennsylvania State Police and law enforcement across the region are relieved that they finally captured this guy, and it looks like finally the weather cooperated a bit. You know, you've been dealing with rain. There's been fog at night that has hindered the efforts as law enforcement has tried to move in and capture him. But, yesterday when they, got that real-time tip when he had that encounter with the homeowner and stole that rifle, that was a real key moment because they've been waiting to get real-time tips. Some of the other tips were delayed by a couple of hours. So obviously he had a chance to move and to get away. But once that real-time tip, they began to squeeze his location using that thermal technology. They were able to pinpoint his location, and they found him under a log. And now
Under a log.
Cavalcante is in custody, and certainly a relief to everyone living in that region.
Under a log.
Yeah, Chad, it's incredible to hear kind of the details that you're getting from the tactical teams about using thermal technology, finding him under a log. We've known all along that because of his size, 5 foot, 120 pounds, it's very easy for him to get into small, tiny crevices to hide. So that worked to his advantage. Law enforcement on Monday saying that while they were working on Danelo Cavalcante's game, now it's law enforcement's game, and they were working the long game. They said he was growing more desperate, so I'm happy that led to his capture. We do have some reverse 911 calls that were sent out to residents this morning. Law enforcement said they would notify residents when they captured him. Let's take a listen to those calls.
This is an important message from Ready Chesco. Please do not hang up.
This is a message from the Pennsylvania State Police. The search for Danelo Cavalcante is over. The subject is now in custody.
Wow.
Yeah, imagine hearing that when you wake up in the morning around that search area. So that's what went out to all the residents out there. Chad, I know you're still with us. And
Yeah.
you said a couple of times he was found beneath a log. It's like the most primitive place for one to hide when you have all the technology that the police were using to try to find him. That kind of stuck out to me, that his downfall was basically sitting in the middle of the woods underneath a log.
Well, I mean, like you said, he's diminutive. He's, as Maliana was pointing out, he's small. And so, you know, obviously this guy's been hiding in this brush. I mean, this has been some, you know, really treacherous terrain for law enforcement to do their search. I mean, you're talking deep woods. You had all those ravines. You had some of those underground tunnels that state police suspect he may have used to escape that original perimeter. So, I mean, these were some brutal conditions in terms of finding, you know, Danelo Cavalcante. But at the end of the day, I mean, I really think this thermal technology, talking to some of my sources, was really key in finally pinpointing a location so they could really move in and know exactly where they're going to go. Because literally, you know, he's under a log. If you didn't have maybe some of that technology, you could walk right by him. I mean, that's how deep the brush is in that entire region. So it was really helpful for him in his escape and to be on the run for those, 13, 14 days. But they finally got him. And, now the investigative process will play out. And they'll, obviously try to learn more about how he was able to escape, learn more about how he was able to break their perimeter, and learn more about what they can learn going forward in some of these searches, because, state police have conducted a number of these over the years. You think of Freen up there on the Poconos, and they're difficult searches. And, the public obviously is like, why can't you catch this guy? But it's really not that easy, and they're doing their best, and they're trying to squeeze him and find him. But it can be very difficult, and you have to work.
Chad, we're getting some new information. I'm sorry to interrupt. Stand by 1 second. We want to bring Annie McCormick back in. Annie, I know
press
that you had to go
conference
because
is in
you're
about a
getting some
half hour.
calls and some messages. What are you learning right now?
We have a little bit more information, and this is interesting. So that perimeter that they established on Monday, the one that we've been talking about, we show our viewers the map of it. They actually made an even smaller perimeter within that perimeter last night. Some storms came through, and then this morning when they went in, it was a dog that was part of the state police's tactical team or the Border Patrol's tactical team, and it was that dog that got a hit. And now I'm told that he was under not only foliage, but also a pile of logs. And
Bye-bye. No, he's in the back of that vehicle. They got him. Morning, Kate. Morning, everybody. Morning, Shauna. I don't see you, but I know you're there. Hi. Oh, there you are. Morning. Thanks, Bruja. Oh, looky, looky. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Press conference in 25 minutes. Well said. Perfect start. Morning, Dar. They got him. Let's take a moment of silence for these brave heroes. I think so, because they're saying he was bleeding from the top of his head. So he probably got drug out by his skull cap. Whoop, whoop. They got him. They got him. Back to normal, guys. A little over 20 minutes to the presser. We got this, guys. Woohoo! Amazing. All the hours that it took, right? It's a good day.
what we'll do, we'll keep an eye on this feed. We'll keep an eye on the feed of that press conference as well. When that kicks off, we'll dip into it. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and get to a commercial break, our first one of this hour. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just 2 short minutes.
Okay, I'm jumping back and forth because we get some information and then they cut us off, and then it's it's okay though. It's all good. Oh my word. Well, I imagine this is going to be a little easier for them to do this presser than the last couple. Oh my word. Yeah. I'm wondering, I think they might have, James. Top of the head was leaking a little bit. Hiding underneath of a log. Underneath a log is where he was found. Unreal, guys. Yeah, they did. They had to take, they made him stand there and take pictures like they had just caught. Oh my goodness. El Chapo or something. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, he's going to the big boys cage this time. Yeah, he probably was, unless the log and all of its little critters kept him warm. Can you imagine how disgusting that is? Underneath a log, all those things. Do what you got to do, I guess. That's a great sight to see. Absolutely. I mean, today, what made it 2 weeks? 14 days today. Snuggling with a log. I won't lie, I'm going to miss this constant stream of the chase, but glad the danger's over. Oh, well said. Well, today we'll get back to normal. This has kept us busy for 2 weeks. I have totally left my other cases hanging. I hope he does. Hello, good morning. Do you think that's it? After all this, just 10 years? You're probably right. Yep. Looking like Hannibal Lecter now. Yeah, that could happen. Still alive. He was underneath a log hiding. Hiding underneath a log. Just like, you know, just like you do. Oh, yeah. Steak breakfast for the puppies. Hip, hip, hooray. Okay. He's now where SEPTA Route 204 operates from Paola train station. Paoli? Yeah, before they put him in the back, the cops lined him up so they could take pictures with him. Oh, done like dinner. Done like dinner. He didn't, I don't think he had a chance of parole before, did he? Oh my word. This is a good day. You know, I was thinking it was never going to happen. Well said, Kate. 'Super Max. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. "15 minutes to our update." Okay, I'm just getting my girls fixed here. Sorry, guys. Okay. No, I don't think he did. I don't think he did. Mexi's missing this. Might have a bit of a headache. It's unreal, DB. It's unreal. Yeah, you bet. Thanks, Melissa. 15 more minutes. I've got it set up. I think what I'll do is I'm going to switch over here. Again, another switch. So we will get the presser on this channel here. Everybody's got the exact same stuff running across their screen. It says, "Wow." No one was injured. Yeah, that guy's not going to see the sight of daylight forever. Down to the hole. Yeah, I just was starting to think like this was just never going to stop. I really did. Is that where the Supermax is? Is in Colorado? Okay. Hobbit. Oh, there's a kabillion people streaming this right now, guys. Everybody's on it. Dandy got a hold of me first thing this morning and was like, "Get up, get up." I appreciate it, friend, because I would have missed it all. Absolutely. Uh-oh. Oh, no doubt. No playtime for you. Okay, what just happened here? All good. Bye-bye, log boy. Yeah, that's true. I think that's them just timing out. I'm not sure what's going on, but that's okay.
Everybody know this is who we have. This is the guy that's been putting everybody on terror, and he is now in custody. Rest assured, you can go back to your normal. And I tell you, for law enforcement, kudos, because they want a picture, because just imagine those, especially who have been in the hunt for the last 14 days, day and night. That high anxiety, and all of a sudden that adrenaline rush, that now they can calm down and say, we're safe. It's just a great day, and it's a great moment.
It is. It's a great day.
And sure enough, let them capture it on camera.
Well, it's a good outcome. And also, it's also the messaging that you can't get away with this. I mean, you take a picture to show convicted criminals or criminals in general, you will not get away. We will come and get you. U.S. Marshals typically do that. Well, they'll show the pictures. They'll send out the video. They want to
look
send
at them
the
all.
message. We will hunt you down. We will find you, and we will catch you, and you will not get away with this. So part of the taking the pictures
Check
is
it
a deterrent.
out.
Absolutely. This is
Washing
this is
his face.
sealed in everybody's mind, and trust me, everybody who's in camera view inside a prison who might have been pondering one thing or another, hey, guess what? You might be able to escape capture 1 day, 2 days, 12 days, 14 days, but we're never going to stop coming for you, and we're going to get you.
Good job.
And so this is just another one of those moments to capture in history that it took us a while, but we never stopped.
Yeah, I mean, you've been on the show talking about searches that last years. We keep showing the footage of them cutting this.
Absolutely,
jersey
Bruja.
off of him,
Absolutely.
cutting his, or whatever it is.
Look at him, eh?
And then
Not
cutting his
happy.
pant legs off. What's that about?
Yeah, the top of his head, he seems to have a little bit of a boo-boo.
He's now a prisoner, and he's in handcuffs. So what they have to do, and who knows exactly how the actual takedown took place, but this goes to show law enforcement.
Look at them all.
Hey, you put us in a position where our anxiety was high. We might have.
You guys
to
doing
shoot
good
you.
first
We
thing
may
in the
have,
morning here, friends?
You might be shooting at us. That's a lot of anxiety. And now that we have you in custody,
I don't think
you're
so.
safe and sound.
I haven't heard that yet.
We still care about you. And so thereby, they're going to methodically remove all the clothing, first and foremost, to make sure that nothing is hidden.
Right.
This is
Oh,
not
that
a
makes
pat-down
sense.
search. This is going to be a full-on search to make sure there's no weapons whatsoever
They did.
hidden anywhere on or around his body. And they're also removing the clothing methodically to make sure
Yeah,
that
it's about
there's
time.
no
Good to see a
wounds that need to
flower
be
pot.
dealt with immediately. So EMS is there, and
think
a lot
so.
of those
I think you're
tactical
right.
units, they have their EMTs right there. And
I
so
don't
they're
think
just
so.
doing a head-to-toe.
No, I don't think
no
so,
different than if he was in an emergency room and a doctor's doing a one-over to say, hey,
He
what
was
works, what
hiding
doesn't, and so
underneath
forth.
a log.
So they're doing due diligence first and foremost for weapons, and then of course
Hiding
for
under
any
a
injuries
log.
that may need to be tended to immediately.
Well, whether he was in a shed or under all those logs, he's caught.
And the other thing that people are commenting on, the fact how different he was able to look each time that we saw him. Some people, from the first photos that we showed, we had a lot of facial hair, and then how different he looked clean shaven with the cap till now, where you still see he's a lot of hair dangling in his face. I guess it just shows how much you can change your appearance.
I don't think I would have recognized him on the street.
I think that he wouldn't
If
get
you are
much
just
time
joining us
in,
here on Live Now
even
from
with
Fox,
the charges
time
in
is
Brazil. I think
9:23
he'd
on
get
the
out.
East Coast, 6:23 on the West Coast. That is Danelo Cavalcante, the man who officials have been looking for 2 weeks since his escape.
come around back of the building and take a picture. So I did. I followed him around back, and I took a picture of the Border Patrol response team that took down Cavalcante. It was the Border Patrol, about 12 to 15 of them working in concert, big husky guys. I do have a picture of them, and I took pictures of them with their cameras. Now, I cannot post or distribute that picture for the simple reason that some of them are undercover operators. Some of them
Under a
don't
law.
want their picture posted for a dozen different reasons. They were quite alarmed when they realized that I used my own camera. I gave them my word that I wouldn't, but they were right behind the building right there. The takedown happened right behind the building. There were about 15 of them, all of them heavily armed with AR-15s, M16s. They were some of the toughest cops that I have seen, and they were exactly the ones that I figured would be the ones to take down Mr. Cavalcante. One of them had a big scrape on his face. I said, "Is that from today?" He goes, "No, that was from yesterday." I said, "You all made contact with him yesterday?" He goes, "No, that was a brush." Apparently, he's just been pounding through jungle thick brush back here in the woods looking for him over the course of the last 2 weeks. That's not stuff we would have seen, guys. We were out at the perimeter talking about what we know, but meanwhile, down in here, guys, from Border Patrol and every police agency that you can name are pounding through the woods down here. But I want to make clear, it was the U.S. Border Patrol, a strike team from them, that I took a picture of back here, and they confirmed to me that they were the ones who took down Cavalcante, and I'm amazed by them giving me the opportunity to stand with them, take a picture, and most of all, to congratulate them, Karen. Tom will tell you, my photographer, I've been a little bit geeky ever since they took him down. Every state trooper that goes by is getting the hard honk, the thumbs up. It's been a whole lot of work. Should he have escaped? No. Should it have taken 2 weeks to bring him in? No. But the point is, we got him, and he's going to SCI Phoenix, guys, and what that is a newer sub-prison built within the Graterford walls. Graterford's
he missed everything.
So what they've built is the new SCI.
Oh, you
and there's
bet,
probably
Kate.
a
Not a
higher
problem,
level of
friend.
security.
Thanks for
When you
being
think
here.
about it, Cavalcante's going to need all the security he can. The guy's already proven to be an escaper, and he's a convicted killer. So you want to have him in the highest level of security you possibly have, and he's on his way there right now, guys. Border Patrol did this. Give him credit and thank him.
Okay.
Wow.
Hank, amazing that you're right there on the grounds at Prizers. So we're going to put up some pictures. If there are kids in the room, I'd say take them out of the room.
Yeah, trigger warning.
Some of these are pretty bloody.
And Bob Kelly was able to get these from some of his sources.
Yeah.
Bob?
Yeah, this is the picture, obviously, after they cleaned his face off and taking him over
Trigger
into
warning.
that armored vehicle in which they then cut off that Eagle sweatshirt. Now, let's first of all, I want to go back here. Here's the live shot from Skyfox. What I think they're doing, just from watching the roads, is that they're heading south on Route 1 to the Avondale, Pennsylvania
Heads
State
bleed
Police
lots,
Barracks,
guys.
which ironically they have to pass Longwood Gardens, which was where they spent the first week or so in a hideout, and then maybe after he's processed at Avondale,
Just to make sure that he
maybe
didn't
they'll be
have
able to
anything
transfer him up
concealed,
to
is what
that
they were saying.
CSI that Hank just mentioned, because they're definitely going. They went south on Route 1, south on 202 to Route 1, going through Chad's Ford.
That makes sense.
Past Longwood. The Avondale
No,
Police Barracks.
he had an
in
injury at the
Avondale.
top
It's
of the
right just
head. It
south
was
of Longwood
probably the
Gardens,
dog.
right at the corner of 141. There's a big Target.
Yeah,
Lowe's,
doggy chomp.
shop there, and it's amazing how those cars are pulling over. Let's go to that.
No,
shot
no,
again
nothing like that, Melissa. Nothing.
One of my
The dog
sources
got him.
sent to me right after his capture, and we saw him having his face wiped off. So obviously he's all bloody there. Where that came from or how long he's been that way, obviously we'll probably find that out in the press conference. But
yeah,
we saw the
doggy chomp.
officers, the SWAT and the marshals wiping his face off, and then in that,
That's what
let's
it
go back
sounds
to
like,
that other
Dandy,
picture,
eh?
if you could, that I sent over, where his face is clean. So obviously, they cleaned him up a little bit. There you go. Before they put him into the armored vehicle.
Yeah,
that
right
we're
at the very
following
top
now,
of his head.
that I believe is heading to Avondale.
I know
And
I
only
had
say
a
that because
wound
I'm
at the
just
very
watching
top
the
of my
roads,
head, and oh my
just
word,
figuring
did
out
it
by
bleed.
process of elimination here where they're taking them, guys.
Well, I was kind of wondering because you can see they had a roll of toilet paper out there and they were wiping his face. I thought it might be sweat or something like that, but it turns out
Yeah, he
was.
doesn't
Yeah,
seem
you see it
too
right there.
happy to
Yeah,
be
putting
going
down
back
toilet
home
paper.
to his
They were wiping the
cell.
blood off his face. Yeah, when you get a head wound, it's you bleed profusely,
Mhm.
no matter how size, how big the cut is on your
Exactly.
scalp. So,
Yeah, exactly.
We're coming on back on camera here because we need to make some adjustments in the control room. It'll only take a couple of seconds, and then we'll get you back to the scene there.
Because in any moment now, we should be having this press conference.
Yeah.
So we'll take
We
it
want to make sure we don't miss that, so we're adjusting some things in the control room. Yeah, Kennett Square, the same fire station where we've been for 2 weeks.
Okay, we're waiting.
It's going to be so interesting to figure out exactly what happened in those final minutes. Was he hiding under all those cords of wood? Or,
That's what it looks like.
Was he actually in a shed? We'll find that information from the horse's mouth.
I bet both things could be true. You may be
Yeah, could
spending
be.
time in the shed, and then you
crawl
move,
under
you
the
hear
logs.
people, and you're trying to hide and, you know, take cover where you can.
Hey, Scott, were you involved?
Still waiting, guys. It'll just be a minute or two.
No, I was not.
No.
That was a little outside my territory, so we were always on a standby. But at that point, we were not called further up. Usually, we would hover around the border of Maryland.
We do,
Delaware,
Chopper.
and Pennsylvania. So Erickson
No,
was
just wait.
outside
Any
where
minute.
We had supplemented.
In that case, I think that went on for
Any
days and
minute.
days
We're all
and
set
days,
up.
and he eventually just walked out into a field and says, "Okay, I'm done.
Oh,
Take me into
yeah.
custody."
They don't.
And I
They
think
don't
he
want
is
these guys
at
there.
CSI Phoenix, even as we speak. Well, the fog is still certainly in that part of Pennsylvania and heading to
Oh, I'm
Avondale,
sure.
we think, for some kind of processing.
No,
and
he's
then
not going to make
eventually
friends
back
real
to
quick.
CSI Phoenix near Collegeville.
We'll have it on his
So,
channel here as soon as they pop on.
Can we punch up at least the news conference? Okay, go ahead and punch it up.
Here we go. Take a look at it.
Okay.
That's a firehouse where all the updates have been given over the last.
And what you are listening to right there is live, raw, and unfiltered coverage from our Fox 29 Philadelphia team. As we've said, that news conference is expected to get underway here really any moment now. I want to take you out live to some of the video that we do have here that shows police after they did take Danelo Cavalcante into custody following that 14-day manhunt. Before that news conference does get underway, let's head to a quick 2-minute commercial break, and we will be right back with more live, raw, and unfiltered coverage.
Dandy, you are my hero. Right? He had like 50 guys surrounding him in great big tactical suits. Okay. We're waiting, guys. Come on, let's get this done. We want to know. We want to know. Okay, I'm going to have my second sip of coffee and buckle up. It has been a long, long 2 weeks, eh, friends? Hole. Oh, yeah. I think you're right, Tracy. No way they're going to release this guy to anywhere but Supermax's sentence will be done automatically. Yeah, I'm only on my second sip. I've been chasing streams for you guys, trying to get it ready. Yeah, I basically, Dandy got a hold of me and I just ran straight to the coffee pot as I was turning everything on, got my coffee, put it down, and that was the last day. Yeah. Oh, nummy. I don't think we got Dunkin' caramel mocha Dunkin' iced coffee. Oh, my nice, nice, nice. Yeah, what a roller coaster, hey? Yeah, 14 days today. Absolutely. My dogs have me cornered. They want a cookie. Oh, it was Sean, a true nail biter. It's been unreal. Unreal. So we'll get this done. We'll catch what we can. And I'm going to start researching. See what I've been missing. Oh, yeah. I think you're right, Tracy. Okay. You guys ready? Okay. What's going on? You two being sissies. Cookies, Mom, cookies. We do. Yeah. Time Borton. That's what we drink up here. Little Timmy. This is so awesome. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. What the heck happened? I doubt it. I don't think. Robert, tell us. I don't think I've seen that one. But I will check it out. Robert tell us. Well, they're going to be smiling today. They're not going to be looking like they want to crawl in underneath their own log. When I got up at 4, there's just no sign of anything like this coming. Yeah, I agree, Tracy. They do have to answer for all the failings. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me if he was smirking at all. Or crying. Oh. Oh, really, Chopper? Absolutely, P9. Lots of pressure. You're awesome. Thanks for being here, friend. Absolutely. So you know what? Watch this, guys. Zap. Gone. Just like that. Gone. Zap. Oh, let's make sure you didn't get into any of my back stuff. As they like to. A lot of these trolls, they get in the back. And it's like, no. Got to go now. Oh, yeah, there we go. So, guys, Rapper is also another one we got to watch. Because he keeps getting in the back, too. So, Rapper and that guy. Oh, yeah. Got him. Zap. I have no time for time out with those guys. Goodbye. Just bye-bye. Oh, that guy. Oh, my word. He's one you'd want to rip to shreds. Actually, I think that's my Roddy. She's the biggest. She's the one that's usually being the sissy in the back. Fair enough, Shauna. Any time isn't good for me. Under your own logs. Yeah, trolls.
Wednesday, it's raining. It's 9:40 a.m.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, log boy. So rapper and that name there, if we ever see it, I'll keep watching my back to see if they crawl in there, but isn't he gone?
Okay, it's September 13th, 2023.
There you go.
We have captured the inmate following a 2-week. We're good? Okay.
You're okay. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that thumb, guys. Help me in the algorithm. I would really appreciate it. Oh, yeah. They call it, when you push it, it says banished. You've been banished. I just have to make sure that they don't glom on to the back end of my YouTube to keep them gone. Or I already banned them. Good job. Oh, Taylor Shabusiness. Hoole. Yeah. Adam Montgomery is Harmony's dad. He is a real POS. A real POS. I've also got a playlist on him, guys. Taylor Shabusiness. Wow. Insane, that one. Yes, banished from the magical kingdom. Chris Watts. Yeah. Oh, you're doing good. No, you're good, P9. Don't even worry about it. Ask as many questions as you need to. Yeah. I don't think anyone takes, as far as we all have kind of different sense of humors when it comes to this stuff. So it's the only thing to, shake the bad feeling that likes to glom onto you with these jerks. No worries. Great having you. That's right. That's exactly it, Chopper. That's the whole point of us asking true crime community. We ask questions because we are a little addicted to the true crime. We want to know the truth. Oh, Ed Gein. Yeah, he was a mess, that guy. That guy was just a mess. Oh, my goodness, you guys. It's over. It's over. We can get a good night's sleep. What's going on, Jazzy? You have to go outside? I'll be 2 seconds, but it's rolling for you guys. You have to go outside too? Let's go outside. Come on. It's rolling, rolling, rolling.
Would you go outside? Let's do it. There you go, babies. There you go. Breakfast for you guys. Come on, come on. Ollie, Ollie, oxen free. Ollie, Ollie, oxen free. Okay, come on, come on, come on. Here we go. Can you guys tell me if you need it, the volume turned up or anything once we get going? In 2007, 2 years after meeting Egyptian money, Michelle married.
Oh, they're a little more confident up there today. Yeah, that was an interesting catch, wasn't it, when they caught him? Well, when the public caught him. Uh-oh, plumber in the house. Oh, absolutely. Oh, I think you're right, P9. Yeah, watch the change in his demeanor. He'll answer all the questions. Yeah, I'm not sure who's going to run it. Didn't they, Tony? Oh, yeah. That was a scary situation. Back to normal, guys. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do hit that thumb, get our channel into the algorithm. Yes. Thank you, PA authorities. We are now addicted to adrenaline. Oh, my. Oh, there's a lot of guys up there willing to show their faces on camera this morning. I am true crime all the time, literally 24/7. I've been this way all my entire life. True crime and pets, true crime and pets. And now it's still true crime and pets. Oh, yes. All those ones. BTK, they started up another task force for him. Well, maybe I'll look into that some today too. Chances are I will end up doing a live later on one of the other cases, but if I don't, it'll definitely be tomorrow. I think I've literally, well, I went on holidays. I still checked in. I was gone for a few days, but other than that, I bet you in the last 2 years, I've only taken maybe 5 days off. Maybe. Yes. Yeah. Did you think that she was a little boy? Oh, you always thought was the boy. You know what? Well said. Once they start talking, I'm going to mute myself out so you guys can hear it good. Exactly, Dandy. Most anything to do with anything crime related. Court cases, breaking news cases, missing cases. Did you? I wonder about this. The brother is kind of my thoughts. It's the psychology that fascinates me. That's the thing. It is the psychology that is fascinating. Just why? We have, Melissa, we have that one on Discord. The random letter was ludicrous. Did it? No, he wasn't, but I am pretty sure the parents would cover for him. The father. Yeah. Yeah. It is the thinking. It's the thought process, the psychology of the whole thing. It is another platform, and ours has got well, not hundreds. It's got many, many cases in there full of information. It's yeah, it's another platform, and it is pretty easy to get used to if you're not familiar with it. And ours is a pretty safe zone. We don't have it's the same group of people basically. So they have a lot of fun over there. I pop in and out kind of, but there's always somebody in there. Yeah, I think it is. Oh, look at the cop now. He's beaming. Not looking as miserable. Wowza, he was in there. I was starting to doubt it. I really was. Come on, boys. We want to hear what you have to say now. Look at them all. There was not that many before. So the Discord link is back in the chat. Thank you very much, Shauna. Are you both in? Can I close that door? Are you both in? Are
What's going on?
Wowzer. Right? A little bit more of that verbal diarrhea. He was hiding underneath of a log. Literally, underneath a log. Under a log. Whoa, there's more. Where'd all these people come from?
Good morning. I'm pleased to be able to report that thanks to the extraordinary work of law enforcement officials from here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, our local leaders here in Chester County, and from our federal partners all across this nation, shortly after 8 a.m., our suspect was captured. I want to say, first and foremost, thank God there were no injuries to law enforcement or to the public. We obviously became deeply concerned after the suspect was able to steal a weapon. He was apprehended this morning with no shots fired. I want to say thank you to the dedicated law enforcement professionals from every level who each and every day go out of their homes, leave their families, leave their loved ones to keep us safe. The public over the last 13 days has had a chance to see what excellence in law enforcement means, what true dedicated professionalism is all about. I couldn't be more proud to be standing up here today with these professionals from every level. And while they did extraordinary work, we had a tremendous assist from the public here in Chester County. I want to say thank you to the public for their vigilance. Thank you for the constructive tips that they shared. Thank you for remaining on guard. We recognize this has been a concerning and trying time for each and every one of you in the region. We want to thank you for your support of law enforcement and for your support of this effort that led to this capture today. I hope the good people of Pennsylvania, and indeed the folks all across this nation, got a chance to see how government is supposed to work, how law enforcement is supposed to work, where we all come together, where we focus on the mission. And while the women and men up here behind me may wear different uniforms and different badges, we were here with common purpose, and that was to apprehend this suspect and keep people safe. Leading this effort has been the Pennsylvania State Police. And I know I'm going to get booed by some of the folks behind me for saying this. I believe they are the finest law enforcement agency in the United States of America. And I could not be more proud to be the governor of this Commonwealth and to have the chance to serve in public service alongside these great leaders in the Pennsylvania State Police. Leading the effort for us is Colonel Christopher Paris, who did yeoman's work overseeing this operation together with Lieutenant Colonel Bivens. All Pennsylvanians, gentlemen, are indebted to you for your bravery, for your courage, and for your tremendous leadership. And with that, it's my honor to bring up the Colonel of the Pennsylvania State Police, Colonel Christopher Paris.
Thank you, Governor. I would like to make a few brief comments. I'd like to dedicate those comments to the victims of Cavalcante and their families. At the end of the day, all the people behind me here work for justice and for the victims. A close second to the people of Chester County. We appreciate your support, and we appreciate the dedication that you have shown us and the generosity that you have shown us. We are in your debt. This was a major operation. We know that it has affected your lives, and we're very much appreciative of that support. I'd like to thank the governor and his support of us, not only with his physical presence, but his work in Harrisburg on a daily basis. I'd like to thank the Border Patrol, Customs, the FBI, the Marshals, the ATF, our federal partners, the Chester County District Attorney, Deb Ryan, and her Chief County Detective, Dave Sassa. Our municipal partners, too numerous to mention here, in Chester, Montgomery, Delaware, and Bucks counties. We could not have done this without everyone. I would like to thank, from the bottom of our hearts, the members of the Pomar Lynn Fire Company. I know the media has been in and out of here. The hospitality that they have shown us, the logistics that you need to bring to bear in an operation like this, we would have been hard-pressed to do that without them being good hosts to us. Lastly, but certainly not least in any way, shape, or form, to the women and men of the Pennsylvania State Police, thank you. Thank you for your hard work and your diligence. This is my third manhunt with Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens. It's not lost on me that it was 9 years to the day yesterday for the Blooming Grove ambush. And in all of those operational cycles, there is no person who enjoys more of my trust and confidence. He was tasked with standing this operation up. My confidence in him is marrow deep. He is the consummate professional, and I would now like to turn
that is their feed, not mine, friends.
give you the operational rundown of the capture of Cavalcante. Lieutenant Colonel Bivens.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Colonel. It is a true pleasure to stand here this morning and talk to all of you about bringing this manhunt to a successful conclusion and without getting anyone else hurt, most importantly. None of this would be possible without the support of this team represented by members of various agencies standing with us up here, by others standing throughout this fire hall, and by still more who are out there in the field. So let me give you a few details about how this unfolded. As you know, we have been working most recently in a perimeter established in northern Chester County. Last night, shortly after midnight, a series of events started to unfold. First, we had a burglar alarm at a residence near Prizer Road within the perimeter. Our people investigated that, did not find Cavalcante there or anyone else, but it started to bring some of our people into that area. We had been searching an area not far from there already with some tactical teams that night. There was an aircraft overhead utilizing FLIR technology, and close to 1 a.m. picked up a heat signal that they began to track. It was west of PA 100 and north of Prizer Road. Tactical teams began to converge on that location where the heat source was moving. Unfortunately, we had a weather system that also came in, and we had lightning that was flashing all around, and it caused the aircraft to have to depart the area. Tactical teams made a decision to secure that area, that smaller area, as best they could, and hold it through the storm and until we could bring additional resources in and bring aircraft back overhead to ensure that we did not have an issue with an escape. That resumed early this morning, and shortly after 8 a.m., tactical teams converged on the area where the heat source was. They were able to move in very quietly. They had the element of surprise. Cavalcante did not realize he was surrounded until that had occurred. That did not stop him from trying to escape. He began to crawl through thick underbrush, taking his rifle with him as he went. One of the Customs and Border Control teams, BORTAC, had a dog with them. They released the dog. Some of our PSP CERT members were also there, had him surrounded. The dog subdued him, and team members from both of those teams immediately moved in. He continued to resist, but was forcibly taken into custody. No one was injured as a result of that. Excuse me. He did sustain a minor bite wound. We had medical personnel at the scene, and they took a look at that. Cavalcante was, as I said, taken into custody. He was transported to our Avondale station for further processing and interview, and he will ultimately be transferred to a state correctional institute where he will be housed and begin to serve his life sentence. In just a few minutes, I'll open this up to some questions, but before I do that, I want to turn this over to one of our very close partners, District Attorney Deb Ryan. I know she would like to say a few words, and again, then we'll be happy to take your questions following that.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Bivens. Today is a great day here in Chester County. Our nightmare is finally over and the good guys won. We owe a debt of gratitude to all of the first responders for their tireless and dedicated efforts in bringing this fugitive to justice. They worked around the clock, and we are deeply grateful to all of them. Our community can finally regain its normalcy and breathe a collective sigh of relief. This would not have happened without the collaboration and efforts on behalf of a multitude of agencies. I need to thank the Governor, Colonel Paris, Lieutenant Colonel Bivens for his unflappable and dedicated leadership, the U.S. Marshals, the Chester County Detectives, the FBI, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, the Department of Emergency Services, the Sheriff's Department, and every single person who went out into the field in the most horrendous conditions. We had weather problems, we had terrain problems, and a ton of obstacles that prevented our capture from occurring as expediently as we wanted. We have the best people in the business, and we never lost faith that this capture would occur. We knew that it was just a matter of time. The scope of this manhunt was extremely impressive. The brave men and women who went out there every single day are our heroes. And I am proud to be a part of this collective team of people who worked around the clock to bring this man to justice during this monumental challenge. They utilized every piece of advanced technology, dogs, drones, helicopters, every asset available was put out for this capture. I can't express our gratitude deep enough to all of them and to the community for their support. We received dozens and dozens of donations, well wishes, and kind support from everyone in the community, and we thank this firehouse for housing us. We know we disrupted their lives for a while. One of the first calls we made upon learning about this capture was to the Brandow family, who, as you can imagine, have been living in a complete nightmare. They are so grateful to the men and women who helped with this capture. They can now finally sleep again. I can't thank law enforcement enough for their efforts. Thank you.
Okay, with that, we will be happy to take your questions. Yes.
With the helicopter overboard, we saw the arrest taking place. There was some criticism about the photo op that was taken with the fugitive. Can you explain how that's actually a standard procedure, or what's the reasoning behind the photo op with the fugitive?
You know, I'm aware that there was a photo op that was taken out there. Those men and women worked amazingly hard through some very trying circumstances. They're proud of their work. I'm not bothered at all by the fact that they took a photograph with him in custody. Again, they're proud of their work. They kept the community safe. I say thanks to them and good job.
Sir, did he say anything the moment that he was captured and you released the name
We will probably not be releasing the name. And in terms of anything that he said, we need to use an interpreter, and he has been taken back to the station. And at that point, we will attempt to interview him at the Avondale station. I'm not aware of it. If he did, I don't have that information.
Your officers were authorized to use lethal force if he didn't actively surrender. Was the goal to always take him in alive?
That's always our first choice and preference. Again, that option is only to prevent the escape of a very dangerous individual. Had they not been able to contain him, that would have remained an option.
Who specifically made the arrest? Which organization?
It was a combination. It was a combined group of the Border Patrol and PSP.
When he went into the van, he was stripped and had his tattoos photographed. Is that normal procedure?
Yes.
When the thermal imaging happened at 1 o'clock, was he in the same location when you found him?
Wait, I'm sorry. You'd ask first, man. He was proned out. I've not been told that he was asleep. I'm told that he was proned out trying to hide and then began to crawl away.
Was it the same location when you got the thermal imaging at 1 and you found him at 8?
It was in that close proximity to that, yes. No one was assisting him at that point.
Sir, what was the agency that was flying the helicopter that first spotted the heat?
That was the DEA, and that was a fixed-wing aircraft.
Were you worried as law enforcement that you had to down the plane and there could be another chance for escape? I mean, that's obviously the plane had to land, but what kind of risk did you have to calculate?
Well, you know, as I've told you throughout this investigation, there are always things we have to contend with. Everything isn't scripted and doesn't go perfectly. And so it's just another challenge. Worried, I don't think is the word that I would use. We simply had to adapt. And so we secured that inner perimeter while always keeping our outer perimeter secure, so that if he did manage to get out of that inner, we would box him in yet again. You know, I don't know that he was particularly skilled. He was desperate, and I've said that all along. You have an individual whose choice is go back to prison and spend the rest of your life in a place you don't want to be, or continue to try and evade capture. He chose the evade capture. He was in good shape, obviously able to climb, as you saw, to get out of prison. But ultimately, as I said all along, we had an amazing team assembled here, capabilities that are just very formidable. And I was confident all along that he would eventually be captured. And ultimately, this team, and I credit all of them for bringing together their collective experience, the resources, and being able to apply that and capture him. It's never easy to find someone who doesn't want to be found in a very large area.
Sir, there was previously you said you were reserving comment on if anybody was helping him throughout the search. I know you said no one helped him this morning. Can you say now that he's in custody whether he received help these last 13 days?
There were people who were intent and intended to assist him. We had been successful, to the best of my knowledge, we had been successful in preventing that assistance from reaching him.
Does that include his sister?
Yes.
There had been some frustration, some criticism from the public as this was stretching on. Now that it's over, do you consider this anything other than a success?
No, it was absolutely a success. And I got to tell you, I think by and large, the public stayed amazingly supportive. I had some third grade students stop by yesterday and drop off letters and notes of support for all of these responders. We put them out for them to see at briefing time and things. That's the kind of support we saw from this community. There will always be criticism. There will always be people who think they can do this job better, and they're entitled to that opinion. What I would tell you is, again, I put my faith in this group of experts, this group of seasoned law enforcement professionals, the dedicated men and women, not only of the Pennsylvania State Police, but of all of the other partner agencies who went out there every day. I'll put my money on them any day of the week, and I believe the community supported them and continues to.
Will he be charged with escape, and when will those charges be filed?
We'll be discussing with the district attorney what, if any, charges will be filed. But for right now, again, there is a commitment, and he is going to begin serving his life sentence at a state correctional institution. She is in the deportation proceedings. That will proceed as had been initiated. I'm sorry? I do not. Just the clothing and things that he was wearing.
Did he attempt to shoot? Did he attempt to try to disengage?
He did not have an opportunity to, no, sir. I don't have an exact number, but looking at the teams we were sending in there, in the immediate vicinity was probably 20 to 25. Yes, they were tactical. They were a tactical team. You would expect camouflage, full armor, long rifles, that kind of thing. Customs and Border Patrol was their BORTAC team out of El Paso, and then Pennsylvania State Police CERT. It's our Special Emergency Response Team. Yes. From that point, probably 5 minutes. It played out fairly quickly once they had identified him and moved in. He detected them at that point once they were already in position. And again, he started to crawl away, and it played out very quickly then.
Sir, what is your greatest lesson from this 14-day manhunt?
You know, I don't know that there's any single lesson. I will tell you that I learned something from all of these. And as I told you before, I bring that experience to the next one. And so I just go back to, it's all about the team. It's about assembling the right group of people, the right technology, the people with can-do attitudes who will stick with you through the investigation. And that's what we did. And it's worked well for us in the past, and I'm sure will work well for us in the future. And the reason I'm not going to talk about that again, as I mentioned, we will be discussing with the district attorney whether there will be any additional charges. I don't expect that there will be on that aspect, but we want to have that discussion before we disclose anything else. No, I think he stopped because his normal pattern was to travel in the late evening, earlier overnight hours. Whether he got tired or whatever, normally he typically didn't travel then later at night, and he typically did not travel during the day unless we pushed him. And we did have several instances of that where he was pushed and had to move. But, you know, he doesn't have night vision or anything like that, the type of technology that many of our operators had out there. And so traversing rugged terrain is difficult to do. I believe it was just easier for him to do in the late evening hours and late afternoon. I believe that's what caused it. It was a scalp wound, and they bleed pretty significantly. I'm told there was not any significant injury. Just one, ma'am. No, I mean, all along, you know, we asked people to secure as best they could. Unfortunately, he was still able to acquire some of those things. Again, those are just some of the challenges we deal with in an investigation like this. Our people rise to those challenges, and ultimately, again, he was successfully captured.
I know that you led the effort also in July earlier this year when that person escaped using bed sheets. It was a chocolate lab that ultimately led to his arrest, and now here we are again. You're talking about a canine moving in and basically disabling Cavalcante. Can you just kind of talk about the having canines and their use and how much of an asset they are when you're trying to navigate tough terrain and track down dangerous people?
Sure. I mean, in the case of Tucker, he was kind of a civilian. I would say we deputized, and brought him in. He's now an honorary member of PSP, but lab. But he was not involved in this. That was in Warren that this gentleman was referring to. Just, you know, I believe it's a Shepherd or a Belgian Malinois. Just 1 minute, if I can come back to this gentleman, I apologize. In any event, canines play a very important role not only for tracking, but also for just like in a circumstance like this, safely capturing someone. Far better that we're able to release a patrol dog like this and have them subdue the individual than have to use lethal force. And so again, our preference is always to use other means. Canines play a very important role. He was in the wooded area, again, west of PA 100 there. PA 100.
Are you aware of how he was getting nourishment and, liquid?
No, that'll all be part of the interview we'll attempt to do. Whether he'll talk to us or not, that's obviously entirely up to him. But that will be something that we'll be asking.
Sir, at this juncture, can you release where he worked in Chester County prior to his 2021 arrest for homicide?
Unfortunately, I don't have that the list of those locations. I know that he did a variety of jobs installing flooring, but I don't have the specific list of work locations.
How long will he be at the Avondale barracks?
Long enough for us to process him, and however long an interview lasts with him. I don't expect it to be for a very extended period of time, and again, at that point, he'll be transported to an SCI.
Sir, is there any concern that he would team up with another small man to step inside the trench coat, Little Rascal style?
No.
On the actual encounter with the dog tackle him, bite him?
Again, I didn't see this specific capture. What I would tell you is the way those dogs are trained is to simply go to the person. They will grab whatever is closest for them to grab, and then they are trained to detain that individual. They don't just keep biting and releasing or trying to cause additional injury. They simply grab onto and try and hold that person in place until officers can get there. So that's why they're never released, at some great distance or unsupervised. There are officers close by who can then move in. The handler can immediately pull the dog back off of they give them a command, pull the dog back off, and then officers take over from there. He did. I don't have the name right now.
Was there any body cam footage or doggy cam footage in the situation of him getting the arrest, anything happening?
Not that I'm aware of.
And then secondly, Border Patrol, are they here?
Yes.
Can we talk about the expertise of Border Patrol being here to make that arrest?
Do you want to?
What your experience played and how that made you could step up?
Sure.
Now, Border Patrol is trained in tracking and pursuing. From the time that an agent comes on duty, assigned to the southwest border, they get lots of experience tracking and trailing people. And then with our technology and other resources, that just aids in the searches like this one.
Different terrain than normally what you're working on, correct?
So Border Patrol is assigned to both the northern border and the southwest border. So we got training and experience in all types of terrain. We assisted the state and federal, state and local partners with our resources, whether performing observation at night, searches during the day, searches during night, and then obviously we had our tactical teams here.
Question for Governor Shapiro. Governor, yesterday you described just not 24 hours right here that you were calm and that your commanders of this operation were also calm. In hindsight, how did you balance the obvious pressures from outside that were forever saying fighting against it?
Look, we had a job to do, and that was to capture Cavalcante. And I had the absolute best team working on this. I'm proud to be associated with the Pennsylvania State Police and all the law enforcement leaders who were behind me, federal, state, and local. We knew we had the best, and we knew, as Colonel Bivens said multiple times, he was desperate, and it was just a matter of time. I couldn't be more proud of them. And I want to come back to two questions over here that are related to Mr. Holden's question. One was about the assets that we deployed beyond the people. I hope that the public takes great pride in the technology, in the canines, and in all of the assets that were brought to bear here. We ask a lot of the public through their tax dollars to support the police, to support law enforcement at every level. And they got a front row seat here in Chester County and across Pennsylvania to see the extraordinary work not only these individuals do, but the great technology we're able to bring to bear to ultimately capture dangerous suspects like this. The public should take great pride in that. And then to the gentleman's question there in the suit, folks, whoever had their Eagles hoodie stolen, if you could let us know, I'll do my best to get you one of those new Kelly Green ones, okay?
Governor, can I just ask you, two escapes, two different individuals from the same prison in the same year. What do you say to people who live in this area to see what is happening at the Chester County Prison, and what are you guys going to do moving forward to try and prevent this kind of thing from ever happening again?
Here in Pennsylvania, our system may be a little different from other states. We have state correctional institutions, and then we have county jails. In this case, the Chester County Jail is run by Chester County officials. They'll answer those questions as to what occurred and what changes are ultimately going to be made. Certainly, the State Department of Corrections will be here to assist in any reviews or in any other work that they need done to make sure that that facility is secured. They obviously have a lot of work to do there, and I'm confident on the leadership of Chairwoman Moskowitz and District Attorney Ryan and other leaders in the county, they'll get that done.
Is it estimated that the cost of the mainline is about $1 million a day?
I can't, put a price tag on it. We'll do our best to make sure that whatever can be tallied up is and is shared with the public. At the state level, I can't speak for our local or federal partners.
Governor, you mentioned the pattern of what time of day you would travel. Were there any other patterns that we picked up on that were key in tracking him, containing him, and then helping him catch him?
There were a number of things that that we picked up on, and he didn't follow the same pattern every single time. Seemed to like to travel via creek beds. He liked other paths of less resistance, wood lines, power lines, gas lines, that type of thing. And that's actually fairly normal. Nobody wants to have to force their way through very heavy underbrush and things. And again, I mentioned the time of day, but all of that combined with some outstanding work and technology is really what brought this to a successful conclusion.
How many people in Chester County are grateful for your efforts? I know you mentioned on Friday you were asked about containment and capture. Ultimately, that tactic was successful. Anyone that you would like to thank at this time? I know Landhope donated breakfast yesterday. Wawa has been big help with lunch. Any small businesses you'd like to thank? And then again, the people of Chester County.
I will tell you that we have been compiling a list, and I don't want to stand here right now because I will absolutely miss many. Some of those that you mentioned have been outstanding supporters of us, and I thank them. We will publish a list of all who helped us out because we are very, very appreciative. That level of support is really one of the things that allows our people to focus on the task at hand and to try and be successful even quicker than we might otherwise have to be. When I gave you all a tour of the facility in here, I talked a lot about logistics and the support that's required to field a team of 3, 4, 5 or more hundred law enforcement officers out there. It takes a lot to put it out there. And so the help of all of those folks, the help of the average person who stopped by and dropped off a case of water was very much appreciated, not only for the case of water, but also just for the kind thoughts of and words of support that they always included when they dropped that off.
Contained and captured for that tactic was the way to go.
Yes, as I said, we always take a multifaceted approach. And so depending on the circumstances, there's always a contingency and we're always prepared to move in whatever direction we need to. I'm sorry. I don't believe any officers on the tactical teams had them on. It was a DEA fixed wing aircraft. I believe that's South Covington. I would have to look at a map. We were operating in several townships there, but again, it was north of Preiser and west of PA 100.
Where were you when this all happened? And do you have a personal feeling of satisfaction for 14 days of very long, hard
I was here in the command post when the capture occurred, and yes, I'm very happy that this occurred and that no one was injured. You know, it brought a new level of danger for all of our people out here in the field when we knew that he obtained a firearm. And so for me, the biggest sense of relief is that no one in the community was harmed and no law enforcement officer was harmed either. So that's the win. No, I believe he was more mobile the entire time. We're not releasing that, but it is going to be a state correctional facility. And once he is secure there, I believe they will release where he is being housed.
You said that multiple people attempted to help him. Did he have any means of communication to reach out to those people and coordinate with them as to where he was?
He did not at the time that we captured him. Yes, ma'am. Well, as I addressed a few minutes ago, yes, he had the firearm with him. Yes, he was a threat. He did not have an opportunity. I believe he was taken by surprise, and I believe the canine played a large role in him not being able to utilize that firearm. What I would tell you is, again, that it is our last choice, our last preference to use lethal force. And so while there were other options, the team did the responsible thing, did what they're trained and what we expect, and they used other options. And again, lethal force is always the last option. We have the criminal investigators that have been involved in this, everything from the escape up through the time that he has been on the run. I'm sure all of that will be included in their list of questions. Whether he'll choose to talk, I have no idea, and that will be his choice.
Can you assure and guarantee the public that this man will not escape again? Because clearly he has the ability to do that. Can you say that now?
I can assure you he will not escape while he is in our custody. He will be turned over to a state correctional institution. I have every confidence that they will be able to safely and securely house him as well.
Lieutenant Colonel, was he in the perimeter of the perimeter that you had outlined yesterday?
He was.
He was.
Yes, sir.
How close to the edge of the perimeter was he? Where? In the perimeter?
It was within the perimeter, and he would have been within a few hundred yards of the eastern edge of the perimeter.
Colonel, in terms of the public being involved, there's video surfacing vigilantes in Chester County trying to get involved in this case. Moving forward, if something like this happens again, what would you tell the public in regards to getting involved in a case like this?
I would ask them the same thing that I asked this time, and that is, please don't come out and try to become involved like that. You potentially take away resources that would otherwise be spent on the search, trying to deal with those individuals, and we don't want one of them to get hurt unintentionally. Okay.
How far was the capture from where the burglary happened last night?
Within a quarter mile. It wasn't a burglary. It was an alarm, by the way. But it depends on whether he is cooperative and is interviewed. That could take minutes to hours, but I don't have the answer yet. Whether he's, I'm not aware of that.
Sir, do we know if his sister and mother entered the country via Puerto Rico as well?
I don't believe his mother is here, and I don't have that information immediately available here about where they entered. As I said, his sister, though, is in the process of being deported now.
We have time for 2 more questions.
Yes.
Colonel, after everything that you've been through, seen with Cavalcante, once that interpreter is there, do you plan on having a conversation with him, asking him anything about all this?
No, the investigators are quite competent. They'll gather the information that we believe is important if they're able to, and I'm confident that that everything we need will be gathered in that way. There's no reason for me to have a personal discussion with him. Well, I think it's a very bad idea, obviously, and we will be here should something like this occur again. We'll put the team back together, and we'll be right back out after them. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.
All righty. Well, isn't that something? How you doing, Mexie? How you doing? They got him. He's on his way to the Huskow. He is not going to get out of a dark hole for quite some time. So thank you very much, everybody. Now we're going to have to get back to normal. And I don't feel bad about that at all. That was like a marathon, guys. This guy outran them for 2 full weeks. 2 full weeks. And they find him hiding under a log. Are you kidding me already? So you know what, guys? I'm just going to make this short but sweet. I am going to jump off of here. I got some housework to do and I'll back to normal. But I'm also going to be researching. So there's a good possibility that I will be back on later with one of our normal cases. Yay. Busted. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for being here throughout everything. You're appreciated. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.